7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Genetics are very exciting. We're going to talk about genetics right now in Australian Shepherds, and we're going to talk about especially what happens when you breed two Merles together. That's something that you want to know about if you're going to go and get an Australian Shepherd puppy.
Oh, you're being cute. You're being a cutie pie. You're being a cutie pie. What do you think?
All right, so I'm hoping that this is going to be straightforward, but this might be a little bit confusing for people that don't have a genetic background. I'm going to show you on a chart what each and every single color is. So hopefully you can see that. Can you see that right there? I don't know, pause it if it takes you a while to read it. But we've got certain letters that represent genes, or alleles actually, in your dog, especially for the coat color of your dog. So right here we've got little m, that is supposed to signify black tri. We've got big M, little m, which is your average blue Merle. And then you've got your big M, which is a double Merle. So we're going to talk about how to avoid having health issues because of bad breeding. And this chart is going to be something that's very important. So I'm gonna do a Punnett Square for you guys. If you don't know what a Punnett Square is, it's a method of looking at what results are gonna happen when you breed the male and the female together. This is what I'm going to be using to show you guys what results when you breed two Merles together and why it is such a bad thing. But first, I'm going to give you an example of a proper breeding. All right, so here we've got a Punnett Square that shows how a proper breeding should occur in Australian Shepherds. You've got a black tri breeding with a Merle. So if you remember the chart that I showed you guys before, this is a black tri, just like Aspen, little m, and the side here is a Merle, which is big M, little m. And all of these squares that are inside are going to show you what the offspring are going to be. So you can see that down here, two of them are going to be black tri, and two of them are going to be Merle. So this means that statistically speaking, 50% of offspring in a Merle and tri cross are going to be Merle, and 50% are going to be a tri, or as some people say, a solid. So you can trace how I did this. So you've got a big M here, which goes into the box, and then you take the results on the top of it as well, the little m, and it goes into the box. Same with down here, little m goes into the box, and the little m goes into the box. So this is a perfect example of good breeding in Aussies. Now I'm going to give you an example of what happens when you have bad breeding. All right, so here is an example of bad breeding in an Australian Shepherd. So in this example, we have got two Merles breeding together. As you can see, we've got the big M, little m, and big M, little m. This results in Merles that are normal. As you can see here, there's two Merles that are normal, which means 50% of Merles will be normal. You have got little m here, which means that it's a solid color, like a black tri. So 25% will be black tri or a solid color. But the problem is you've got these guys right here, which is big M, big M. These are double Merles. This is a big problem because it can cause a lot of issues in your dog. Hopefully you can see how I got that, right? Big M and big M up here causes big M, big M. So keep this in mind when you're looking for an Australian Shepherd. So the problem that we have with double Merles is that it can cause a lot of issues in the animal. Double Merles can have a lot of eye problems. They can have deformed eyes. They can also be born with no eyes or completely blind. So that's a horrible thing for a puppy to go through. Another thing is that the double Merle can be completely deaf. And that's another hard thing for an animal to have to go through. These are all things that can be completely avoided through good breeding. The problem is that, as you saw in the Punnett Square, I'll bring it back here, you have more chances of getting Merles if you breed two Merles together. A lot of people don't understand the difference between a double Merle and a normal Merle. So in this litter, you have 75% chance, right, of having a Merle offspring. So I hope that that answered the question about what happens when two Merles breed together. This is something that you want to make sure that you look for in your breeder. Make sure that they're breeding properly, just to avoid all of the puppies that will either be culled because they become a double Merle, or to avoid puppies that have to deal with handicaps for the rest of their life. You don't want to support someone that does that kind of breeding. So I'm putting that out there. Hopefully that helped. And if you have any further questions about it, you can always leave it in the comments down below. I'm also going to link a website that is apparently the Australian Shepherd Genetics Institute, so that'll be down in the bar below. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. The next video is going to be talking about genetically inherited conditions, stuff like hip dysplasia and collie eye anomaly. So that next video is going to be up. You can also check out the previous video about picking a male or a female puppy. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Take care.